Hey everyone, Rick here, and folks, welcome back to another unit review for Battlefields of Mana. This time, we're taking a look at a very unique unit type known as Bidowers. Now, you may be saying, I've never even heard of Bidowers before. Well, join the club. It wasn't even until recently when I was researching kind of medieval unit types and whatnot that I even came across Bidowers. Now, they could also be used as, javelin throwers. In this case, that's pretty much what they are. They are pole arm chuckers, chucking these pole arms, basically like spear throwers, javelin throwers. When I was coming up with an icon to use on the banners, because I had Alternative Armies paint these for me, and I came up, I wanted their unit type to be painted on the banner. In Battlefields of Mana, you remove the banner bearer last so you can identify what the unit type was. And, I was like, well, we already have spearmen spears. What kind of icon can I even use to denote that these are Bidowers? Well, I ended up just coming up with a griffin. I was like, put a little griffin on there. And honestly, they did a fantastic job. As you can see, this is a unit of Regal Guard Bidowers. Of course, we also do have a unit of Lunar Knight Bidowers as well. Almost looks like a chicken on that one on the banner. But you can see the crescent moon on the spear. That one looks a little better, almost like a dragon or a griffin. Very cool, but of course very tiny. These are all 15 mil figures. So back to the Regal Guard. As you can see, I just love the pose. And of course the sun on the shield. So in terms of that icon, I did go with like a griffin because I was like, well, they're actually going to be nimble. They're going to be quick. They're going to strike pretty hard. So that just makes sense. So let's go through the stats and figure out what in the world, why are Bidowers so unique? Attack dice 1. So you may be saying, you just said they hit hard. Attack dice 1? Okay, so let me clarify. And it'll make more sense the further down the stat line we get. So every figure in melee gets 1 attack die. No combat strength, special abilities, armor value of only 1. They're a very light unit, so 2s or better from their opponents will hit them. They will get their defense die roll, but without any defensive special ability. Range, oh that's right, yes, they do have range. They have a range of 4, so 4 inches they can chuck these pole arms, these spears or whatever. Movement of 4, initiative of +2, so add 2 to a d6 to figure out who goes first in close combat. Health of 2, so every 2 wounds the unit takes is a figure removed, and that is a big deal because of that next stat, which is their abilities. I think this is the first unit so far that had multiple abilities. So they have nimble and they have pole arm. So let's back up a bit, talk about the range. So again, 1 attack die, but if you recall, if you watch the archer or the crossbow video where I said when you have a range value, you do get supporting attacks from the next rank back. So in this case, when they're shooting, when they're throwing their pole arms, they get 6 attack dice, 3 for the front rank, 3 for the back rank. Now, because they also have the polearm special ability, when they are in close contact with a unit to their front, they also get supporting attacks in melee with that back rank. So there's 6 dice attacking in melee. So they get 6 dice at range, 6 dice at melee, of course, assuming they haven't taken casualties yet. Because once you take a casualty, boom, there's 1 less attack die in range and melee, for example. But they also have that nimble ability. So nimble means they get 1 free movement action. So normally a unit can move once and then attack during a turn. Or it can move twice and forego any attacks that turn. Nimble means you can move once and attack, move twice and still attack, or move 3 times and forego any attacks. And that's what makes this unit so crazy to kind of wrap your mind around. Think of all those possibilities. So it has a movement of 4. That means it can move up to 8 inches and still engage in a close combat attack, still engage in a ranged attack. So when you think 4-inch movement and 4-inch range, that's a total of 12 inches in terms of if you just move 3 times, or if you move twice and then shoot 4 more inches, that's still 12 inches total you just moved. Notice they do not have the move to fire penalty, so they do not suffer an attack die penalty if they moved and shot in the same turn. And that's kind of intuitive when you are, trying to accurately throw a polearm. You almost are more accurate if you are running up and chucking it rather than being stationary and chucking it. So, yeah, they're a fantastic short range unit, but also great in melee. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. And don't forget the other benefits of polearm. They will get to go first in the first round of close combat, and they get to re-roll 1s on their attack dice when they are combating a unit of cavalry. So they're great against cavalry. They get to go first in the first round of combat against anybody. They get back rank supporting attacks at range and in close combat. And they're fast. They're nimble. They get that extra movement action. And then shoot after it or attack after it. Or just use all 3 to move really far halfway across the battlefield on a 2x2 battlefield. So what does all of that cost? 3 points. I know the cost symbol down there is a little hidden. Cost 3 points. That's all it takes to include a unit of Bidowers in your army, of course. Only attack die a piece, so once they start taking casualties, if they're down to their front rank, that's only 3 dice. So there are some pros and cons, but in general, a very versatile unit that if you can wrap your mind around how to use them effectively, that is just a lot of fantastic options there. So that is going to be it for Bidowers. One of the more unique units in the game. You think spears, archers, swordsmen, blah, 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 but Bidowers. Hey! All right, folks. That'll wrap us up for this unit review in Battlefields of Mana. Bidowers. Thank you all so much for watching. I do truly appreciate it. And until next time.